Hey, it's Quadix here, and I am back with another part. You guys absolutely smashed 300 likes. So for the next part, I'm gonna do 300 likes again. um, 300 likes for it to come out tomorrow. 200 likes for it to come out today. Comment Q or any other comments you may have. Um, you guys love this series, and I'm so excited. That you guys love this series. Let's get into it. I do not want to waste too much of your time. Okay, let's get into it. Naruto stood in front of the fireplace, eyes glued to the portrait, a storm of emotions raging inside of him. He didn't even know what to feel, whether to be happy that he finally has found out who his parents are, or where he thought bitterly, or whether to feel hurt that is Gigi and hid his parents' identity from her, or whether to feel furious at the treatment from the village. His hands were clenched so tightly that his knuckles turned white. Kurama consoled him. It's okay to feel this way, Naruto. Anyone who would have been in your shoes would have felt the same way. Naruto finally sat down in Indian position. Okay, the energy leaving his legs. He tried to think something, but the thoughts evaded him. Only the image of his parents situated in his mind. He was finally with his parents, yet at the same time he was not. Tears finally fell from his eyes from holding them back for so long. He cried for so long. He cried for a long time, finally letting his emotions have an outlet. For the first time in his life, he felt like he was alone in the whole world. Sniffling, he asked in his head, Kurama, did you know about this? Kurama remained silent for a few moments, which were enough for Naruto to reduce that he knew. Kurama knew, and he still didn't tell him. I did know, Naruto. After all, you shared the same space with me for 9 months inside your mother, the fox replied softly. Naruto cried even harder after hearing this. It was like a whole new storm colliding with a storm that was already raging inside of him. On one hand, he was happy that he and Kurama were together even before he came into this world. On the other hand, he felt betrayed that Kurama would hide something like this from him. He was too emotional to make sense of Kurama's statement right now. He felt really alone. After he finally stopped crying, he stood up, too tired to explore the house right now. Hell, he was too tired to even form a coherent thought. Somehow he climbed the stairs, opened the first door that was in front of him, and fell onto the bed, asleep, without even hitting the soft mattress. Okay, one quick thing. I'm doing another series, and the series title is "What if Minato and Kushina adopted Naruto?" That's a really bad title, and that's on my part. Go watch that, and if you're not convinced, I will do my best to do that now. Okay. So that series, Naruto is the same age as Itachi. He goes to school with Itachi, Shisui, and I forgot her name, Anko. So the ship is Anko, right? And Naruto becomes close friends with Itachi and Shisui, and Itachi's mother knows that Naruto is, her best friend's son. So she tells Itachi, oh yeah, go hang out with that kid. And they do, all right? It's a really great series, and just go watch it. I don't know. Let's get back into this series. Hiruzen was panicking. Oh yeah, by the way, the link in the description is a link to all of the playlists. Every What If I've done has a playlist, and if you click the link, it leads you to where all the playlists are, and you can click that link and go to the first part of that. Save it to your watch later. Oh yeah, by the way, Minato and Kushina die at the same time they die. But when they died, Naruto was 6 years old, and they died because he was gonna have a little sister. But Obito did his thing, killed the little girl, killed Kushina, and Kushina died because the Nine Tails was extracted from her. The Nine Tails attack and stuff still happened. Never. I'm rambling. Let's get back into this. Hiruzen was panicking. He knew what the day was, and he had been wanting to get out of his office to spend time with his segregated grandson. But fate seemed to have other plans for him, as instead of having the normal amount, 3 stacks of paperwork in front of him, he was literally buried in the paperwork. He assigned 2 of his Anbu, Parrot and Ox, to keep an eye on Naruto. Sadly, he didn't know and was unaware that the 2 Anbu were firmly against the demon boy. He didn't know that they were the ones who gave the mob directions to where Naruto was in the evening. It was only when they came to report that he found out the truth. The 2 Anbu appeared in his office and knelt down in front of him. "Report," he ordered. Parrot was the first one to speak. "We lost the boy, Hokage-sama, because today is the Kaibi festival. Crowds were thick and that was where we lost him." Unfortunately for the 2, Hiruzen didn't believe them for a second. If not for the seriousness of the situation demanded, he would have laughed out loud that a 5-year-old was able to lose them in a crowd. Anbu were specially trained for such scenarios. Secondly, he caught both of the slips of tongue. Demon and it were not so hard to deduce. Hiruzen rarely felt anger. In fact, he rarely found the reason to get angry. Even Danzo could only get a small amount of irritation out of him, but right now he was past irritated. Now he was downright furious. All the Anbu in the room felt it. The ridiculous amount of killing intent that was coming from the Hokage. "Shit," both Anbu thought. "Cat, bear," he shouted. In an instant, the 2 Anbu were kneeling in front of him, just beyond Parrot and Ox. "Orders, Hokage-sama," Hiruzen barked out. "Take those 2 to Ibiki. Tell them to hold nothing back and find out what they were doing this evening. Also, tell Inoichi that I wanted to know every face that were there in the mob." "Hi, Hokage-sama." I'm just gonna say yes. Okay. "Yes, Hokage-sama." The 2 Anbu instantly caught the traitorous Anbus and promptly flickered out. Now that he was calm, the previous panic returned. Where was Naruto? Was he injured? Worse, was he dead? Was he even in the village? He took out his ball that he used to keep tabs on the village occasionally. Mostly he used it to ensure whether Naruto was alright or not. He channeled his chakra through the ball, searching for Naruto. However, he was floored when nothing came up. He repeated his search 2 more times just to be sure. The results remained the same. He did not like where this was going. It was a strong possibility that Naruto was outside village walls. "Dog, tiger," he called out. In an instant, the motioned 2 were before him. "Track him down, no matter what. Even search outside the village if you have to." "Yes, Hokage-sama." They flickered out. Hiruzen sat down with a heavy sigh. He was mentally exhausted from the paperwork he had been doing all damn day, and then this. "Where are you, Naruto-kun?" He decided to sleep in his office and wait for them to come back and report, trusting his Anbu. The sun's rays peeked from in between the curtains, falling straight onto Naruto's face. Barely he opened his eyes. Although he slept peacefully last night, he was mentally and emotionally exhausted. This type of exhaustion was new to him, having never experienced it before. At first, he had no idea where he was, but then last night's memories came back. Is there water in this? No, I ran out of water. Okay, Wait. Okay. Came back to him. Okay. He viciously fought back the tears that threatened to fall out again. "No, I will not cry. I did enough of that last night," he reminded himself. It was time. He decided to think through this logically. First thing first, morning rituals. He got up from the bed and headed to the bathroom. Surprisingly, it was so clean and dust-free compared to the rest of the house. Weird, he thought before closing the door. Second, he needed to get out of here and meet his Gigi. He had no desire to meet that man now, but the man had looked after him like his own. He was there for him when no one was. He was probably worried sick. Although he was dying to explore the house, it was best to worry it was best not to worry the old man even more. Besides, the faster he could get this over with, the quicker he could return here to explore. Besides, who knows, maybe his parents left something behind for him. As soon as he closed the gate behind him, he was surprised to see the seals on the gate glow a bit before the gates locked itself. They were not malfunctioning. The seals recognized my chakra, which is why I'm able to get in, he thought in awe. He had read the Yondaime was regarded as a seal master of the highest caliber, but seeing it with his own eyes was entirely different. Sensing chakra signatures when he hadn't even unlocked his chakra. His father was awesome. That decided for him. If his father could do Funjutsu like this, he will too, and he would do better than even him. He then turned to leave when a thought struck him. He was about to dwell on it, but he roughly shook himself out of it. I don't have time. I need to meet Gigi. With that, he ran out of the area, picking up speed when he realized he was quite far from the Hokage Tower. En route, he mentally nudged. Oh, in the route, he finally nudged his friend. Why is this? The spelling messed up too. Hey, Kurama, you awake, right? For a few seconds, he heard nothing. Then he heard a yawn in his head, almost making him do the same before he viciously squashed the urge. What's up, Naruto? Naruto flattered in his running, almost falling flat on his face. He couldn't help the grin that came on his face. Hearing Kurama, an ancient demon, using the slang that kids his age do was hilarious. A stray thought from last night's conversation with Kurama. About last night, what did you mean when you said that we shared the same space for 9 months inside my mother? He asked, curiously turning serious once more. Kurama replied, I meant what I said, Naruto. You're smart enough to figure out the answer to your question. No, Naruto and Kurama weren't the only people inside Kushina. I should keep my mouth closed. Naruto's expression turned grim at that. It meant he and his mother were exactly the same. The host of Kaibi no Kitsune. But why was his mother Jinchuriki? Kurama interrupted his thoughts. Naruto blinked at that. What? Kurama elaborated. Jinchuriki is the term that you're looking for. It means power of the human sacrifice. There are humans who have a tailed beast nailed inside of them. Naruto did not falter even for a second after his revelation. He was almost halfway to the tower, which means he could learn a little more. I get what you mean, but I don't understand is why my mother was a Jinchuriki before me. Also, what is my mother's name? Why was I made into one? Questions were coming one after another like water from a running tap. Kurama raised his eyebrows at the onslaught of questions. Whoa, slow down, Naruto. You have to understand that I cannot answer all of your questions. Naruto was a little peeved at that. Why not? Kurama simply shrugged at that, acting as if he didn't even notice Naruto's anger. Because there is an old man who can answer these questions better than I can. Naruto calmed down at that. Kurama was right. He had no hand in who he was sealed. Gigi was the Hokage, who was the one person who probably knew more about these matters. Another thought struck him, but the tower was within his sight. Better make this fast, he mused. Hey Kurama, what was that you gave me last night as a gift? He asked. He could see Kurama grin in his mindscape. I'm surprised you could pick up on that. The fact that you unintentionally used it is even more impressive. Naruto scowled on a little. Stop beating around the bush, Kurama. Just tell me. Kurama, however, did not budge. Don't tell me you can't figure it out, Naruto. You may not know, but I can feel how close you are to figuring it out. Naruto was slowly getting irritated with this game of riddles that Kurama was deliberately dragging on. He was about to give him a mental scar to remember when he suddenly figured out. He had actually felt the mob approaching. Did you actually give me a sensory ability? Kurama shrugged. Naruto mentally whooped. Thank you so much, Kurama. Secondly, his tone turned menacingly, causing Kurama to lift an eyebrow. This is for annoying me with riddles. With that, he turned his entire mindscape orange. He would cherish Kurama's yell of horror forever. He reached the Hokage's tower, panting only lightly. Standing in front of this tower, he felt a little anxious creeping up inside him. A little anxiety creeping up inside him. He faced the sky. What is it this time, Kurama? Observing the position of the sun, it should be around 6 in the morning, he deduced. Naruto idly questioned himself. Would Gigi be even awake at this hour? He shook his head. He would not back down now. He steeled himself and entered the tower. Seeing almost no one in the corridors, he almost turned back, but resolutely thought, to himself that he would wait for him. I don't know. He arrived in front of the Hokage's office. Seeing the absence of the secretary, he knew was supposed to be there. He sat on the bench outside the office. This was his first time in the Hokage Tower, so he decided to look around. But there was not much to look around. All the important stuff must be some place where only authorized people could access it, he assumed. Sighing, he closed his eyes, figuring he could talk to Kurama about his newly acquired sensory abilities. Kurama, how could I sense the mob before when I haven't even unlocked my chakra? Kurama thought about it and then answered. He had nothing else to do anyways. Good observation, Naruto. It's simple. It was a newly awakened ability. Naturally, it would require time before it stabilizes. But before that happens, it is unstable for a little while. It was in that time period that you could sense the mob. If you were to try it now, you won't be able to use it, he explained, making it simple so Naruto could understand. After hearing Kurama's explanation, Naruto concluded that the ability Kurama had given him was a chakra-dependent ability. He could only use it as long as he infused chakra, that too in a specific way so that he could use it to sense. Damn, that means I have to first not unlock my chakra, he pouted. Kurama spoke up again. Before I forget, I did something else as well. Sensory abilities was not the only thing I gave you. Naruto rose an eyebrow in confusion. Now that he thought about it, not many kids his age could do that. What do you mean? Kurama expanded on his statement. I tweaked your abilities to sense danger as well. Naruto nodded. I noticed that. Kurama grin became sly. Then did you also notice that when your danger sense is activated, your surroundings seem to slow down? Naruto froze. Did that really happen? He thought back to the events of last night, specifically when he avoided the knives that were about to skewer him. He did remember seeing the knives coming in a sort of slow motion. Damn, he mentally whistled. Holy shit, you're right. I remember that. How is that possible anyway? This ability seems to be useful in the future. This ability would be useful in the future. Kurama shrugged. It was my way of saying thanks for what you did for me last night, Naruto. Naruto deliberated on whether to try and unlock his chakra again right now, or to wait to enter the academy and then unlock it. So deep he was in thought, he did not notice the Hokage coming in his way. Okay guys, I'm gonna end it there. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye.